hydrogen tap. There is a rather interesting phenomena, if I may be so bold as to call it that, that's occurring with these plates. Please, I must put a disclaimer on here, because the newcomers seem to be getting this mixed up. This is not the focus cell. This is not the cell that I have on my site. This is not the cell that I have in my car. This is strictly a test piece of equipment that's two plates. It's just a test piece of equipment that's two plates. The focus cell, which I will be showing you, puts out a lot of hydrogen and oxygen together. What I have here is two plates that is approximately 1/16 of an inch apart. It is in distilled water. The phenomena that I'm showing you here is after I take these out of the water and then dump it in and get rid of everything, what I believe is happening is, of course, the bubbles are getting out of it. And if you look really close, now I'm going to put the power back on here. Bring us up to over 110 volts. Actually, it's 119 volts. You notice I'm not getting anything out of it. And that's what a lot of people are doing who are trying to reproduce it. But now, if you wait just a minute or so, you're going to see what happens. What I believe is happening is the bubbles that are forming, ever so small, are bridging across the two plates. So in fact, what you're getting is a shorting effect, and it's self-feeding. In other words, this is all conjecture. What's happening is we're building bridge across the two plates using bubbles. And as they bridge the gap, even as low a electrolyte level it is, or in other words, even though there's really no conductance between them, there's enough in the bubble itself to create the bridge. There you go. Now, if this was the garbage in the plates or the electrolyte, this would not happen. And as you can see, it's actually more than it was coming before in the last video. I think what's happening here, and what even might be happening in the Myers effect, is the same piece. Because in bubbles themselves, they have what's a type of a static charge. So maybe the Myers effect really isn't an effect at all. Maybe what's happening here isn't the exchange of atoms or the elongation of atoms as molecules, as he is stating, but the electrostatic charge between the bubbles themselves. Are we building a bridge here? What I'm going to do is take this out again, pull the voltage down to nothing. First I'm unplugging everything. I've got 1.50 voltage still on the piece should stop. At any rate, what I'm going to do is pull this out. That's getting rid of the bubbles. Dunk it a couple of times. If the water actually contained or was becoming electrolytic, so to speak, bad term, but what I'm going to do is get rid of everything. So if the water itself is doing this, then as soon as I turn it on, we should see the same reaction again. But in fact, I don't think you will. Okay, I'm going to plug this in again now. We're going to have 100. Right now I'm showing 120 volts across it, believe it or not. Okay. Now you notice there's nothing coming up. Now if the water itself has had enough garbage in it, or minerals in it to become electrolytic, or to act as an electrolyte, that would not happen. But now watch. I'm showing 120.40 volts. Now watch what happens. I'm going to coin the word Aaron's effect. I know it sounds prudish of me to do that, but we've got to have a name, and as it stands right now, I don't believe anybody has shown this. If they have, correct me. Notice there's very, very little bit coming across now. What I believe is happening is we're building bridges by bubbles. Eventually what's going to happen is the plates are going to have all these bridges going across, and then we're going to start seeing hydrogen produced because the bubbles themselves have static charge on them. Remember, it's a time factor here. This is not being produced by something in the water. At least I don't believe it is. And if we watch, what's going to happen, there you go. There you go. You see those little bubbles there on the plate itself. And if you look at this, that part that you're looking at there in the background that has those little bubbles, there's no plate on the other side. That's the cutout. So if you have that building up on each plate, then suddenly you have a bridge. That could be the effect we are looking at or looking for. So what we're doing is building a charge up on both sides of the plates, like the capacitor, like Myers talked about, but we're not doing anything to the molecule. What we're in fact doing, I believe, very unscientific, but I'm building a foundation. How's that? It's my cell phone. I'm going to end with that. If you want to email me, you can email me at johnaarons@hydrogentap.com, or you can go to my site, hydrogentap.com. It could also be that it's a lot of bridges being formed there, and as more and more bridges go across, you get more and more hydrogen. So in fact, this whole plate could be building bridges in which